Sunshine and blue skies. Welcome to Juma, everyone. Welcome to a really beautiful morning. Finally, after days of cloud and grey and wind, we've got calm air, blue skies, and albeit a little bit chilly, hopefully some wonderful signs of spring and summer on its way. My name is Mark. Tara is on camera this morning, and Seb is in final control. Hoping everything's running smoothly with us this morning. And well, we're off in the early morning light. It's a really pretty morning. It was freezing last night. It was almost as though we had a real cold front come through. I wouldn't be surprised if it got down to below 10. I always feel a lot colder than I should. But it doesn't mean to say it's going to be a cool day today. In fact, I'm sure it's going to start warming up very quickly. And well, today's my last day of drives. I'll be on camera in final control the next 2 days. But with my last day, I want to take stock of what's going on here at Juma with the plants and the animals, and let's see what we can see how much of a difference there'll be when we come back in 2 weeks' time. Where I'm sitting, I can see impala, zebra, kudu, and these giraffe, all spread out over a very wide area. Across the drainage line towards the Becker Road, some more giraffe and zebra. Giraffe. Time is there, there we go. Looks low, but it should be fine. Yeah, it's freezing. Morning. Anything that way? Yeah. Maybe somebody can mix it now with some other stuff. Check
the high
on that sand.
10.
Good one. Yeah, see this on the camera, man. Bottom one down.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's gonna blast everyone's ears out then.
No, it's not. No, it's got to be. Okay, it's a lot better. For some reason, Tara, it's been on 10 for the last few days.
I don't know why it was on the internal mic then.
Probably because we were filming with it when we shut down yesterday. That's why, because I was talking to this mic and the back mic was on. Alright, well, where'd that female go? Hey, back. Well, welcome. I don't know how much you heard then of what I was saying. Let's see those kudu. thing about driving around when one is on camera is it gives you a chance to look around a lot more than one does when you're not on camera, when you're driving, because you're driving, you're concentrating on the road, looking more around for animals and things than anything else. And I noticed a lot of things yesterday driving around with Seb. Very echoey. What did you do when it was echoing?
He just needs to turn off the sound of one because it's embedded in the other, I think. So he just needs to turn off the sound from audio and Wirecast.
Evidently you got to turn off the sound or something.
It must have reset itself during the power cut then.
So Seb's saying he can hear you very clearly.
Seb, if you can hear me, then it's embedded in the sound. It's embedded in the picture as well, apparently.
Alex changed Wirecast, so of course it's thrown us off a little bit with a new version of Wirecast and different controls and different way of doing things.
During the power cut, it must have just reset itself because we fixed it yesterday.
Did you hear Tara? Seb just didn't understand what you said. She said she switched off the one sound because it's embedded in the other.
It's embedded in the picture.
It's embedded in the picture, so
you just need to deselect the sound. So if you go to the audio menu...
Seb, please call Alex and let Alex do it. There's Buffalo. No, I didn't know that either. I think he's watching the buffalo. There was another kudubu. I don't know if that's the very big one we've had around. Take note of his barcode. Morning guys, getting mobile. I don't know, I didn't check, I couldn't see the emails this morning, Seb, I didn't have time, so no, I don't know. All I know is that I heard lion and leopard last night, but from my room there was no way to tell direction. So I'd appreciate knowing what happened. Okay, so thank you Diane. Sil and Diane. Sil saying that lion were roaring. I heard the lion roaring, Sil. Couldn't figure out where they were roaring from. I heard the leopard too. I also woke up and heard that leopard. But Diane was saying leopard was at the dam. Could be Umbilu Yordan. Let's go to the dam then. Let's go up Mbuba Road, see if we can see something. Impala are all looking. They haven't stopped looking. Those impala are looking. No, they're feeding mostly. The other impala might be looking at them. Okay. So I was taking stock. Actually, no, I should have done it here. I was saying I'm going to take stock. I want to show you a few things before we go because they're not going to be there when we come back. And the one other thing I want to do today is I want to take I want to make a count of everything that's flowering at the moment. And I'm sure we could get quite a bouquet of flowers together. Not just one flower, but a parting gift, a bouquet. All the ladies out there. Josie Jones. Can we look at the orchid in the tree today? We can do that. Sept was looking at buffalo yesterday just underneath that one orchid, so we had a look at it yesterday. So we can look for another one, or we can look at that one. In fact, we're going up on Vubu Road. There's an orchid on, but we can have a look at that one. If I remember correctly. Shirley was saying it went left from the screen. Oh, hyena were lying down there. Thank you, Shirley. Shirley saying leopard went left on the screen, so it was going away from FC. Actually, no, Shirley, that would mean it was going more towards FC than away. Looks like the guests did a walk here yesterday. I hope it was yesterday and not last night. Pretty dark nights these days, going into new moon. Got new moon on Wednesday, I think. And it's not only new moon, but it is New Year too for some of us. Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah. Head of the year. I can hear Crombeck shouting. Maybe past them already. Okay, so someone can keep a list of flowers for me. We're hoping to see. Bonnie, I'm not too sure what you mean. Bonnie's asking if the buffalo, I think a buffalo and then Nilana. No, they're not the animal you mentioned. Perhaps if you could check its spelling. But the African buffalo is on its own in any case, so there's no other animal unless it's a different name. It's like I was asked the other day about wild dogs, and someone from Portugal asked me, sent in a name that I'd never heard before, and I googled it and it turned out to be the name of wild dog in Portuguese, and I didn't know that, but he thought they were two different animals, but he was from Portugal. Hello, Mr. G. There's a big male, this huge dark male. I don't know if he's the big dark one we saw yesterday. That giraffe was huge. He's kind of an average male, this in height, I mean. In height, I mean. Once again, we got giraffe everywhere. And I think because we have giraffe anyway, let's use this early morning light and time to try and cover a bit of distance to see some tracks. I would like to end off with a bit of a bang, something special, and I'd like to find some tracks. Also, I'd like to try and figure out where those lions were calling from. Got more giraffe up here on the left, up towards Inger's house. I wonder if that was him one could just smell. Hey Bonnie, not sure if you satisfied there, but Bonnie's saying it was a bit of a typo, so basically answered the question. Still not quite sure what the question was. Nyala, of course, is a smaller version of the kudu. Same family, slightly different. That's a new tree over. Okay, well there's a flower. Not the greatest, but we're going to start small and move a little bit forward. Try and get these in the sunshine. There, where that lily is. That's nice. Where the go-away birds are. The sound of a brown-hooded kingfisher in the background. One of the larger of the acacia species, mostly only found down in riverbeds and along watercourses. And very similar to the mimosa. The mimosa is the same family, yellow puffballs of flowers. And we focus. One of their favourite foods at this time of the year for the go-away birds are flowers, actual flowers of some of the trees. Okay, so that's number one, Acacia robusta. Morning, Roger. Do we have things like poison ivy, poison oak, or poison sumac? We don't have either of those, Roger. Those are North American species. Got to remember that there are a few things that have been brought over to Africa, yes. Or things from Africa that have been taken over to the States. But generally a lot of the indigenous plants and things that you have in North America, plants and animals, are entirely unique to North America and that part of the world. Africa has its own equivalence in some ways, plants that have also developed defense mechanisms and things. And yes, there are a few plants that have stinging hairs, irritating rashes. But nothing like the scale of poison ivy or poison oak. I'm not too sure of the effect of the poison sumac. Right, now, let's see, second flower. Got to do now because they're all high trees and it's a matter of trying to find one that's got low enough branches that we can zoom in on. Now these are the new leaves coming up on the marula. We'll see if there are any flowers we can find amongst them. But there's an incredible color coming out in the marulas at the moment. And part of it is the color of the new leaves. but part of it are the flowers. And the marula is one of these trees that has both, well, you get a male tree and a female tree, so the flowers are very different for each one. And here, some of the pink hue that we can see is more from the flowers than the new leaves coming out. It's hard to get really close because they're such small flowers. But I think the point I really just want to make, what I really just want to get to is to see the number of trees that are flowering as we go into our break, and then we'll see what's still around when we come back. Let's see if we can find another marula that's got branches closer to the ground. The beauty of the early morning light, though, is that we're seeing it from underneath as much as we can. As soon as the daylight the day wears on and the sun rises, we won't get to see them as good as this. Okay. Marula. Liricaria buria. Tend to find that male marula trees are a lot taller than the female marulas. The males tend to be very tall and straight, and that is so that their pollen can rain down on the females, or wind pollination. Of course, it's probably mostly insect pollinated. Hey, starling. Morning, Linda. We will get to the sausage tree eventually at some point today. Mostly, I say it's waning out of its flowering period. You're not going to see any of the fruits growing yet. We might see one or two when we come back from leave, but it's still too early to see whether any of those ovaries have seeded. But it's in full leaf. It's in its full splendor. There are a few flowers still. We stopped there yesterday, and well, I'll try and get there later this morning or this afternoon. For expos. Okay, yeah, no, I don't know. Just the name of the... Please spell that name, Sept. Still don't know how to pronounce that name. Minzi Nonjis. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that at all. Never heard that name, but an interesting name. And Miss Chris watching with granddaughter and mum for the first time. Well, welcome to our drive. hippo tracks and hyena tracks. And a big bird in a tree up ahead. Still no leopard tracks though. Let's see what's here. Hippo. Be able to see this bird very well, because by the time I get a clear view of it, I'll be looking almost into the light. But this by its shape looks like a brown snake eagle to me. If I remember correctly, there was an orchid somewhere in here. I remember seeing it when I was with some elephants one day. Question from Nevada, from Aaron. Saw a picture. He has a little kudu bull, and behind the kudu, in fact, we'll get it in a straight line, is the orchid in the background, on top of an knobthorn. I think it should be in line with Tara. Is it? Almost. Go forward a little bit. Interesting question there, Aaron, from Nevada. Saw a picture of goats in a tree, what looked like a marula tree, eating the leaves. Funny enough, somebody sent me a picture too, and it was like full of goats. There were goats all over this tree. And Aaron was asking, was it true or would it be photoshopped? And actually it is true. I've seen it in East Africa, and it happens a lot. Ooh, two eagles flying up ahead. Anyways, there's the other orchid. Another orchid that I know of, and doesn't look like it's flowering from here. Those are the seeds hanging. It's a lovely specimen, that. But those are the seeds from its last flowering period, from the beginning of, well, last summer. And it'll probably be, I reckon the orchids might be flowering by the time we come back. Maybe if we get a bit of rain, it might prompt them into flower. But between now and December is their flowering period. But in the semi-desert regions, the goats do climb trees. They're incredibly agile. You have to remember that these are animals that can also find their way along a cliff face. Related to mountain goats too. And no, I don't think it is photoshopped. I think that is a real photo. But I would say it's not a marula tree. I'd say it's one of the acacias that they're climbing. But I have seen goats in trees in East Africa in very dry places, almost semi-desert, where there's nothing to eat on the ground, and the only place for... Oh wow! Let's go forward a little bit. There's a combretum. Oh, have you got it? Just maybe a little forward. Bush willow flowers. African grey parrot for what? Ashley? We don't get African greys? Actually, maybe that eagle, because it had a parrot-like beak, had a strongly decurved beak, like a raptor. But actually, we didn't do a bird quiz there, and I suppose size-wise it was hard to see. But that was a snake eagle. I've just seen another eagle. There are actually two. Seen another eagle flying. There it comes. I don't know if that was an African hawk eagle going up towards Tambuti Dam. So that was large fruited combretum, large fruited bush willow flowers. Beautiful show of flowers in that very small plant. Kind of a tree that hangs over and in front of that guarri bush. Nandi. Got school tomorrow, but you're still watching. That's great. Thanks. Thank your mom for letting you watch. Maybe we can find you something before you have to go to bed. 11? Is it 11 years old? Nearly a teenager. Okay, just a quick one. Since we're doing flowers, there's the guarri flower in the sun. Now, because of the very hot and dry conditions that we have here in Africa, a number of these trees don't have very big showy flowers. I mean, look at this. This is tiny. It's about the size, each flower is about the size of a match head. And I suppose while we're here, before we pull off, ahead of us is a knobthorn in flower, just to add to the list of flowers today. And I'd say the knobthorns are reaching the end of their flowering period. A lot of them are coming into their leaf, and hopefully a lot of them will be seeding. We had a good crop of seed last year from some of these knobthorns, which was the first time in a few years that they seeded. Just the top of this crown, still in flower. They were the first to start flowering, in fact. The knobthorns and the tambutis. Cream coloured spikes. no sign of leopard coming up this way. Oh, I lie. Sorry, there is tracks now. Fresh tracks. Finally came onto this road. And there's a steenbok down there where Karulan family were. On that kill. I'm going to stop and have a look, see quickly which way he went.
That's a little steenbok that Mark was just talking about.
Pardon?
I was telling him that was the steenbok that you were talking about.
For the life of me, can't see which way he went. Track behind the vehicle, still on the road, and then all of a sudden, like he grew wings and flew. There's nothing on the road. He might have crossed through, he might have actually gone down this rocky gully towards, maybe he's sniffed something. Okay, some internet might be down. Okay, so the only thing to do, just by the way, this is where Karula and the Cubs were the last few days. I'm wondering if we're going to get to see her before we go off. The only thing to do is do a nice big loop around onto Biffle's cut line and see if maybe he didn't cross over. My guess is he might have crossed up to Sambuti Dam. No tracks here though. Old dung from the cats that were here. Tara can do a dung quiz. There's some more dung in the road, leopard dung. Stations, anyone on Buffles? Morning Henry. Anyone on Buffles? Where about? Okay, anything being picked up? Okay, copy. There's Ingwe Mkonzo for Big My Daughter coming north up from Bubu Road. I'm just checking to see if he crossed Buffles and cut line. My only guess is that he turned east and he's gone east this patch. Along the fire break maybe. Didn't come this way. the road, the fire break, and he is heading east. Just touched on the road and went back into the fire break. Might be ahead of us somewhere. I think where Konzo heads east. This is a cut line. This is a big leopard, very big leopard. So Jordan maybe? Mvula's not really his area. Oh, slender mongoose just ran across the road. He could have been walking here at 6 o'clock. So the idea is to get to Gari Cut Line and see where he's crossed from Gari Cut Line. If it's Yambila Jordan, that's one of his favourite haunts, that little drainage line. Got a Nyala down there. Morning, Sol. Interesting question, because the answer is a bit of both. But Sol wants to know, when we hear lion at night, do I lie in bed and listen to them, or do I sleep through them? And I suppose, my typical answer, it depends on so many different things. Sometimes I'll even get up and I'll stand outside so that I can get some sort of sense of direction of where they're calling from. Sometimes I just lie in bed. Depends on how cold it is and how tired I am, and whether I wake up fully or I just become semi-conscious, become aware of the fact that I can hear lions. Sometimes at home, if I'm at home and they're close by, I'll get into my Land Rover and I'll go find them. I got into my land yet. 4 hours in the morning. Go and look for lion. Sometimes had food on the fire. You hear lion, you jump in the car and go and find them. Right, I'm expecting, well, I shouldn't be expecting anything, but I'm hoping to see his tracks here. Let's look around a little bit. Not yet. For many, many years I lived in a tent. Well, not just any tent, I mean they're luxury tents. They're huge tents. In fact, the tents are actually bigger than the accommodation that I have now, with ensuite bathrooms. But living under canvas is an amazing thing, because I wonder if we shouldn't do the fire break. Because when you live under canvas, in fact it's more mesh than canvas, because they have such big windows, those tents in some of the tented camps. And get through this dip. Living under canvas for so many years, you're so much more exposed to the sounds and the smells. It's almost like sleeping in the bush without anything. Excuse me, anything around you. And those are times when I just lie in bed and I get an idea of where the lion were calling from, to be able to go and find them in the morning. Another giraffe. Hello, little giraffe. The giraffe was looking this way. Hello, Linda. I don't know if I was finished with the other thing, but forgot now what I was talking about. Linda was asking a question that for me unfortunately would be impossible to answer, but Linda, an interesting question. I was talking about marulas and saying that one tree is, you get a male tree and a female tree. Linda wants to know why it is that some trees get separate male and female, and some trees you get both male and female flowers on the same tree. In fact, in some plants you get both male and female parts in the same flower. Not necessarily I don't think you'd get the same tree with different flowers. Maybe you would, actually. Come to think of it. But scientific reasons for that, I wouldn't know, Linda. I'm not that well trained in things, but and I wouldn't know whether it's the same like in humans, X and Y chromosomes. Ooh, I can see two hornbills fighting. No, they stopped. I don't know what makes it that way. Stop another flower. Try and turn this bush in flower. But I think a number of fruiting trees, you find males and females have separate trees. I know avocado, it's like that. But unfortunately, Linda, I couldn't tell you why, and I don't know about the chromosomes and what makes it that way. That's a little bit too scientific for my knowledge. I'd say this is in full bloom, this bush willow. It's really showy at the moment. See, a lot of these trees have reduced petals. They have more showy floral parts, the stigmas and the stamens, than the actual petals. Just to make sure that they're going to get pollinated. And also because petals will just dry out and get damaged, get eaten. Not to say that there aren't flowers that do have them. And when we come to leave this is a seed starting. What ball is that? Okay, I know a better one. Abel, come in. Are you still coming this way? Okay, well I just passed Gary Cutline, there's nothing on Gary Cutline junction. See, what honey beds in the baby? Porcupine with baby. Porcupine with a baby, rather. Interesting track.
Open. Go. No, la cosa cosa. Yeah, two at the moment, yeah. Okay, coming up next. That's not a full company. Okay, good. Technical. Ahead. Yeah.
Hi everybody, welcome back. You might have done a bit of a time jump there. So we started lagging behind a little bit. So we just stop and restart the broadcast, and that allows you to catch up to us live. Makes it a lot easier when we're talking to you, when we're seeing things and answering questions. There's lion tracks there, I can see. Now how old they are. Really fresh. Big male. There are birds tracks on top of it from this morning. Whoa, that was close. Tex and Aubrey. Tex, Aubrey. Garland cones are coming out at Torchwood on double the cut line. West on double the cut line. From to the cut line. Whereabout are you with those Mkonzo? Okay, so where's Milkberry from me? Okay, copy. So lion tracks, these could be the lion that were caught. Stand by. Looks like a coup. Yeah, 3 Ngala here on the Buzukatan, Konzo. So is that the same one? Okay, copy. Still only got them Konzo though. Alright, thanks Wendy. Because when I came up Buffelshoek Cut Line to Buffelshoek Dam, there was nothing up Buffelshoek Dam. So somewhere between here and Buffelshoek Dam, they must have crossed. Now hopefully they crossed on our side. Actually, there's more than 3 now. Few lion here, heading west. And well, we know they didn't carry on along the cut line past Buffelshoek Dam. Maybe they went down this way.
Adam calls over. Yeah, I think they only figured out another group going to
You know that fire break that goes north just near Jack's Road Junction on Buffelshoek Cut Line? I think that goes up to Longpole, am I right? Yeah, I think as Ngala went up there, there's nothing on Buffelshoek Cut Line anymore. For having line coming this side. Looks like they turned north and went up that other fire break. Because there's nothing here. I am going to just check this fire break quickly. Oh, wait a minute. Trucks are coming into this part of the world. Okay, let's just check now. Let's just check and see if they go down the fire break, excuse me a sec, or whether they go up Jack's Road back towards the dam. Waterbuck. Cats might have left the road by now. There's a good possibility that there are lions somewhere on Gary at the moment. Waterbuck are watching a little bit.
didn't get that at all, Seb. I mean, I heard you, but I didn't understand about the connection between hippos. Oh gosh. Okay. Hello, Joy. Nice to hear from you. And sure, questions I can't answer today. Joy says she's seen a lot of videos of hippos eating animals. Are they eating it to eat the meat, or are they eating them to get to the stomach contents to eat the grass? Well, I have heard of hippos consuming meat, Joy. I don't know how common it is. I don't think it's a regular thing. I've never seen it myself. I've lived in some of the densest hippo populations, and I've never seen it before. I can't imagine they're eating it for the grass and the stomach contents. But no, it's something that I'd have to look into, Joy. I can't answer that question. Hippo are primarily grazers. They are not carnivores. There have been videos of hippos both saving and drowning animals in dams. Lion went, but they came down towards, they might have crossed into that middle area again, where we last saw that buffalo kill. So we're back at Buffelshoek Dam now. Morning, Brent in New Orleans. Update on the t-shirt auction. Well, Brent, we ended the auction last night. We made a whopping $2,700. Translates to about 23,000 Rand, which is a considerable sum. Oh, again, that same tree stump. Alarm calls in here, and those waterbuck were a little bit alert. But I'm kind of at a loss now. I don't know where we should go look for these things. These cat things. Other side of the dam, and the rain is nice. Fresh elephant tracks on top of my tracks from earlier. There's also a fresh quarry branch in the road that I don't recall being here earlier. Top end of the dam from this angle. heron has just flown away. I don't think it was us. I'd say. And a blacksmith lapwing's been flying around a bit. I don't know if that's because it's been disturbed. I'd love to be able to go and look at the mud on that end to see what was drinking, because it's the kind of place that the cats can go and drink. There's a goose there and it's too relaxed. I'm not too convinced I maybe crossed north, because there was still tracks coming in towards Buffelshoek Dam on Jack's Road. I'm going to go around onto western side and have a look in that Schovanin on the northern part of Buffelshoek Dam. So far the last tracks I had was Jack's Road towards the dam. Hippos. Jackie in Texas. Jackie was asking if a lion or a leopard came across an animal that had died of rabies and they were to eat it, would they then get rabies? Today's one of those days. I don't know answers. I don't think so. I don't imagine that a dead animal can pass on rabies. As far as I know, rabies is transmitted through saliva, and I don't think it stays alive in the host body. I really don't think so. I'm not too sure on that. I don't know too much about the disease side of things. So let's see, is that Henry? Behind us. Hi Henry. Fine, and you? Did you see any Ngwem Kwanzaa on Buffalo?
Yeah, we did book our one going west.
Because there was also coming east from Mbubu Road. That Big Madoda that was at the dam last night. See if you can see anything that way round. But they came in that side. I can't see where they've gone out.
Yeah, maybe if we can get, you remember where they found it. If we get some other information.
Yeah, I'll have a look in there. Are you going round to Jack's Road?
Yeah, just on email for Martin.
Take a look around where the timbers killed the buffalo a while ago. There's a remote possibility that they did carry on south and I didn't see their tracks crossing a road. There are patches of ground where it's pretty hard soil. Easy to miss tracks. Summer's coming and so are the flies. Yeah, go. Okay, copy, thanks. See, I missed the tracks. I actually stopped and saw something when I was just before I said goodbye hippos. There was actually something that I thought I know it had been driven over twice by me. They have crossed already. forming up in such a way that it's going to put cats in the shade, no doubt. We'll go to, I think, let's go to Hyena Road. Kind of puts us in the same place where we left off on leopard tracks too, so might be an idea. Very cold temperatures last night. It's probably pushed a lot of animals into thick cover. And despite some warmth in the air, there's still a little bit of a chill to the air. If that makes sense, that kind of sounds contradictory. But if you stand still, it's warm. And if we drive, it actually makes it quite cool. Anyways, let's see. We're going to lose signal again. Apple leaf should be coming to flower pretty soon. Now we've got beautiful mauve. Yeah, I can see the flower buds. I can see the flower buds. We're going to miss the bursting of a couple of trees in the next 2 weeks. We'll see them flowering when we come back, but we're going to miss actually seeing them for the first time. The wattle is one and the apple leaf is another. Now we've got one tree at the moment that's got a beautiful lilac or mauve colored leaf. Not mauve, what could we call it? Wisteria, the tree wisteria. We're now on Hyena Road. We're going to head south and we'll go see if we can find any sign of these boys. My timbers that were here last night, around here. And I came across the wall, the dam wall, which is just over this little ridge to our east. And we're heading this way. So at some point between here and Central Road we should see some tracks. So, as I was saying, the other lovely lilac or mauve coloured flower is the apple leaf, and I've just seen one apple leaf at a certain time that the flowers will come out. The leaves have to have started forming already. But we might be lucky in finding one or two that might have a flower before we leave. Believe that those three lions are here, and two of their brothers have already crossed into Manyaleti. It's not impossible, I suppose. Possible to see tracks on most of this road because it's just hard dried clay. You need to be on foot to find a toe here or a mark there. But that is the way it goes. Sometimes I've tracked lions for days. Don't always find them. It'd be nice because we started this 6-week stretch with the Matimbas. Be nice to in the next 2 days, 3 days. Find them so that we can end off with them. 9 of them here. Thank you very much letting us know. Letting us know that there's giraffe at Gary Dam. Must be the ones that were up at English Fire. There's giraffe everywhere at the moment, all over the place. Road has to offer. So far only zebra on Central Road. Zebra and giraffe. At last. We've seen this one disappearing into its hole on a number of occasions, and finally a beautiful glimpse of it before it disappears into its hole again. The rough-scaled plated lizard, all of about just over a foot long maybe. Really beautiful reptile. As soon as the inverter hears orange-breasted bushshrike, it sings the same song. Kudu. And I'm moving again now, lizard. Well, we can hope to see him again, because These lizards do tend to be a bit territorial, and they do tend to stay in the same place. I'm looking forward to getting home to my lizard. I've got a plated lizard like this at home. Lives under the bird bath and under the fireplace. And it takes a couple of days for it to get used to me when I get back home, but eventually, since we have the similar habits, it gets used to me, and I've actually got some wonderful footage of it from last year. Okay, let's move on. Bye-bye, lizard. Enjoy your sunshine. Is that another one? There's another one in the other hole. Maybe a mating pair. And now while Tara is showing you some of these beautiful gardenia flowers, if I can get close to one or two of them, you can see the different colors of them as they are aging. They go from yellow, or rather white, to yellow. I'm just going to have a look around. There's a big area. I'm going to look for tracks. I did Hyena Road, but it's difficult to see anything on Hyena Road. Nothing on Central. I'm now at Yellow Road Junction having a look.
very good in you.
Enjoy your safari,
Sure, now I'm warm. So I was looking around at the mud where all the elephants have been, and you know, one would maybe not expect, but that's one place, especially if cats are walking by, they might go and sniff around the water, and it's a perfect place to find really nice cat tracks, but there's nothing there. And then Alan came along and just chatting to him and his wife about the flowers too. She's sitting with a flower book on the left. Also doing flowers this morning. It's a special time of the year, you know. Last year I didn't spend enough time on it, and before I knew it, everything had finished flowering, and it's just something, for me it's a very special time of the year, and a special sort of, just, what can I say, special. Wow, look how deep that's getting. A little while ago I was talking about these elephant holes, and how the elephants dig deeper and deeper, and how eventually, especially with the action of the water in the holes, and when other animals come to get it, how they can get so deep that eventually it becomes a cave that has the potential to cave in.
Just cross north here at Solomon Kaplan. Mind if I just book a picture on Papa?
Anyways, that goes in quite a few feet, very deep. And there's something to come and wallow in there, and I've known hyena to put their bums, their backside, into those holes and slush around. It can get quite dangerous for a hyena, eventually caving in. Oh wait, another thing I need to show you. The tambutis are finished flowering, and now for the first time since in the 3 years, or the 3 summers that I've been here, I'm seeing seed, because for the first time the tambuti flowers were so prolific that they're actually seeding this year. And I don't know what the seeding interval is for tambutis, but I would have thought that if there were good rains in the previous year and good insect activity when the flowers came out, not quite there yet. Up at the tips of the branches, you can see the 3-lobed seeds. More at the top, Tara. I'm going to try and find a lower tambuti, but they look like little berries, but they're actually trilobed little seeds or little pods. And a lot of them will develop the larva of a moth. And when those seeds dry and fall, the larva of the moth has this pneumatic way of wriggling, and it makes the seed jump so that it turns over and the same side of the seed isn't exposed to the sun all the time. Anyways, that's going to be fun to watch when they start dropping, and that might be when we come back from leave. We'll be seeing jumping beans. Oh, the red leaves of the jackalberry, that's another thing. The new red leaves coming out on jackalberries. With that wisteria in there. So we're going to go and find a nice wisteria now. I think there's a nice one on Mumba Road. That actually might be the one on Mumba Road. No, too close. But there's a beautiful one. Not Mumba, Batalier Road. I've just heard on the radio, Ryan was saying he's coming across the boundary in the south, heading north with some elephants. I think I need to brighten up my day and go and see an elephant. Can't see anything on the African hawk eagle nest. See, the thing about tracking lion is when you find tracks early enough in the morning, and you can, if you can concentrate on the tracks when before it starts getting warm, you can maybe still find them moving. And since they do mostly move on the roads, it's a good time to try. Well, leopard as well to a large extent. Leopard, on the other hand, are more likely to be moving around still when it's, even though it might be warm. But boy, lion, when they get to a certain temperature, they flop down in the shade. And that can help because it can help you catch up with them, but it can also hinder because once they lie down, they're impossible to see in this vegetation. Long dry grasses, lion-colored grasses. Essentially want to find them still walking. So we tried, we failed. Haven't heard from Sept in a while. Hello Jack, Washington. Enjoying the flowers as well. Enjoy springtime too. I don't know if we're going to make it to elephants. I can hear inverters making a noise. Keep track of its frequency. Battalier Road. Heading west. I wanted to see now coming up. A tree that perhaps has the most vibrant color right now, but this particular specimen has probably got to be the most showy specimen that we have, or that I've seen. And there's several in this particular area. There's one on the right here that's got more leaves and flowers, but that one on the left, let's see, maybe if I go any forward then we're going to lose the effect of the light on it. But a wisteria in full bloom. Not related to the wisteria creeper from the Far East, China and Japan. This is called a tree wisteria only because its flower is very wisteria-like. Its species name is speciosus, which means showy, and it is a very showy tree. Become a very common or very sought after garden plant because of its lovely flowers. It's also got a very soft feel to it. There's a very it's a gentle tree. It's not a tree that exerts itself on the environment. It's a tree that is very subtle, and when it's not flowering you actually won't really notice them at all. Almost like grapes hanging, they're so profuse, those flowers. Okay. Might have to come and see that tree again in the afternoon from the other side with the late afternoon sun. Here's a close-up. Here you can get right into the middle of a wisteria flower, even if it's only a little one. Okay, let's go. Might make it to the elephant. The beeping is still far apart, but I don't know how much time we got left. Nice shot. Like water and flame, the movement of a flower on like that and blowing in the wind is almost therapeutic. Hyena tracks. Ryan, come in. Been your bed where doesn't blow? make it. Try and be there when I can. Thanks, bud. This afternoon we'll see if we can find a commiphora flowering. Not too many commiferas here. Not as many as I have at home. I don't know if we've got any. I haven't seen any sterculias. They're a pretty flower. Sterculia is the star chestnut. There were some raisin bush flowers that I saw the other day when I was on camera. And I wanted to look for again.
Yeah, I think Sept is going to be giving these five a little bit better.
I see Ryan is saying that I will really enjoy those 11. Everything's some big bulls. So I really want to try and see them. Spikethorn's got a few flowers. They were flowering a while ago already. What you got, Starling? Morning, Amber. How long does the wisteria stay in bloom? Probably about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month at the most. We'll see when we come back. That will be an interesting thing to see when we come back in 2 weeks' time. See if there are still some flowers lingering. And the rainy season, Amber, well, I suppose technically we could have rains any time now. We got new moon coming up. Might be a chance of rain coming up this week with the new moon. The real big rains only really start in December, November, December. But it depends on so-called La Nina and El Nino years. And also these days, especially this time of the planet's life and the state of the ozone layer and world climate change, so many factors influencing weather these days, one never really knows whether one is going to have a typical season or not. But theoretically we're in a summer rainfall region. I remember as a kid we used to get a little bit of rain in September. October can be a little dry, and then November maybe the first thunderstorms start rolling in. But I mean, we've had nothing in September now. We had some drizzle. Can't really be called rain. Didn't do anything. Here, vultures circling far away. Haven't heard that thing again. Weaver's Nest, we just came up from Chelapan. Try and get to Zoe's Road. News on the radio was that Karula and Shavinzi have just come back across from the west, up at the gate. I only say something about those two. I'm sure that Shivambalana must be with them. Buffalo soldiers. I'm gonna have to bypass these buffalo though. Small herd. Interesting group. Because I want to get to elephants. Got to see these big elephants because they might leave. Hello everybody. My humblest apologies for disturbing. Oh, you're an old one, aren't you? Big old lady this. And there on the right. And this big bull. Oops. Sorry old man. Boy, you got a few ticks on you. Pinch your bum. No, mama. Oh, that's the blind female, the one with the blind in her left eye. Oh, it's beeping fast. Okay, I want to get to these elephants. Even if we just get to them and say goodbye there. Sorry, buffalo, we'll come and look for you later. Maybe the lions will too. Excuse me. Oh, she's gonna pop. Look at that. She's ready to pop. She's got twins or something. She's huge. Come here, Nyari on Philemon's cut line.